We always knew they was afraid to play us. We're going to talk about some future Miami Hurricanes showing out at the high school level. And, of course, we got to talk about the news of the day. Those poor little Seminoles took a L. What's up, guys? Welcome to NMD TV. Canes all day. If you're rocking with the U, then you know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button so you never, ever miss out on a video. And big shout out to the Cane Gang, the guys that are members of this channel. I appreciate you investing in me and investing in the channel. So let's talk about a couple things. First of all, you know I'm always listening to different podcasts, different perspectives. And I came across this clip of Steve Spurrier admitting they was afraid to play the Miami Hurricanes back in the day. Check it out.
Beneficial to us. I like it. I would have loved to play. I would have loved to play Miami. That's one of my biggest regrets is not getting a chance to play Miami back when we were there. Like great players want to play.
You said you were going to play them when you got hired back, and I remember you said you were going to get Miami on the schedule. You're going to get grass on the field, and
we had them on the schedule.
Yeah,
we had them on the
Changed
schedule.
Changed the SEC stuff, and
for like 92 or 3.
Yeah,
and then the SEC added South Carolina and Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
And Coach Orange came in one day and said, "You don't want to play Miami now. The schedule's tough enough."
Yeah.
And because played FSU every year also, obviously. I said, "You're right." So we put them off the schedule.
Yeah.
But, I mean, think about your show.
I'm glad we finally got somebody from the Florida Gators lineage, from the Florida Gators side, telling the truth. They are afraid to play us every year. Now, this is something where if you talk to a older person, the generation of the Florida State, you talk to an older generation Florida fan or a Miami Hurricane fan of the older generation, and you say, why doesn't this happen every year? Why do we stop, start? Everybody points the finger at somebody else. So, of course, anytime you hear a Miami Hurricane interview, we say they scared to play us. Well, it's good to have the Florida Gators, Steve Spurrier, a guy who will go down in history as a Florida Gator, go on wax and say, hey, we was afraid to play them boys. And it goes back to the questions, why don't we have Miami versus Florida every year? I think it's something that we should have. I would love it. What did you guys think about that clip? Now, from talking about the past to talking about the future. Friday night, we had Milton versus St. Thomas Aquinas. And besides it being a very good game between two good high school football teams, we got to see some Miami Hurricanes show out. We saw Luke Nickel, quarterback for Milton. He had 2 touchdowns, and they got the dub. And then we had Malachi Toney, who really showed out. 9 catches, 82 yards, and 2 touchdowns. It was great watching that game and then seeing Nickel showing out, Toney showing out. And then when you go back, you can say, why are these guys rated where they are? They should be rated higher. That's why I try not to get too hyped or too low on a player based off ratings. But if you watch that game, you notice Malachi Toney. You notice Luke Nickel. You also notice Byron Lewis, who is somebody I would love for the Miami Hurricanes to pick up. He had a hell of a game as well. Miami is in one of his finalist team that he is thinking about committing to. Hopefully he does join us. But hey, that was a fun game to watch on a Friday night, and it was good to see them boys in action. Milton got the W. Shout out to them boys. Now let's talk about the Florida State Seminoles. Now I could come on here and trash them boys, but I'm not going to do that. I would rather talk to you guys about lessons that we as Miami Hurricane fans can learn from Florida State losing today to Georgia Tech. Now, if for some reason you didn't see it, Florida State got beat by a field goal. But what really shocked a lot of people was Georgia Tech took them boys to the woodshed. If you watch College Game Day, all they talked about, Pete Thamel said NFL scouts and this defensive line for the Florida State Seminoles, they're going to be all over the place. Jesse Palmer was talking about this defensive line, and once the game started, Georgia Tech went left, right, up, down, B-A, left, right, B, select, start, did whatever they wanted to on the ground to this so-called front seven, the dominant defensive line, best in the nation. So the lesson that we can learn is truly, honestly, nobody knows anything until we start playing these games. I can sit here and sell you on Damian Martinez. I can sit here and sell you on Cam Ward. I can sell you whatever I want to because games haven't been played yet. I firmly believe that Cam Ward and Damian Martinez are the real deal because they have the film. But if you listen to pundits, they were saying that Florida State was going to have one of the best defensive line in the nation. Marvin Jones Jr., Farmer, Durrell Jackson, they were going to be unstoppable, and they were not today. DJ Uiagalelei, they said that Norvell, the quarterback whisperer, was going to unleash him, unlock his talent. But, of course, that was not seen today. It was a pitiful quarterback performance, if you ask me. And they lost. So the first thing that we can understand is until we can review the tape, until we see these players play, we truly don't know what they can bring. We think they know, but you don't know until those pads starts to popping. And once the games get played, people start talking about other things. And this is a big lesson that we can learn because, guys, the last couple weeks, only thing I've been seeing is Miami's going to win the ACC. Cam Ward's going to be a Heisman candidate. He's the best player in the ACC. And me, I'm like, I'm happy to hear that. But when you hear it so much, you start to think, is it fool's gold? Well, we truly don't know, but we will know next week when Miami plays Florida. We're going to get a lot of intel, and I'm excited. I'm excited about this team. But you got to get to a point where you say, we're excited, but we still got to see it done on the field. And I believe a lot of Florida State fans, they were excited about their team. Number 10th team in the nation. And the nation, the number 10th team in the nation. And they came down and got taken. Them boys got out-physicaled. And Georgia Tech got the W. So, and another thing is Georgia Tech, they look impressive. We know what happened when we played Georgia Tech last year. They returned a lot of guys. So they're not a pushover. So there are lessons to be learned about this game. But at the end of the day, what I want you guys to take away is that we can talk about stuff. We can predict things. We can say this is going to happen, that is going to happen. But we don't truly know until we start popping pads, until we get under those bright lights. And I, for one, am excited to see what's going to happen when Cam Ward takes this team into the swamp to go up against the Florida Gators, and we get to see who's going to show up, who's going to show out, and who's going to be scared. Another lesson I want you guys to take from this is don't get caught up in, since Florida State looked like ass today, and they did look like ass today, that is the team that we're going to face. Because there have been plenty of years where I've said there's no way in hell this Florida State team is going to beat Miami. And Miami's rolling, Florida State's reeling, and they meet head-to-head, and Florida State plays like a new team, and vice versa. That's not how football works. Just because Team A beat Team B don't mean Team B can beat Team C. When we face this Florida State team, it wouldn't be surprise me if they got a new quarterback. That's just my thoughts after seeing what I saw today. But us playing Florida State is different than any other team playing them because they're going to have their big boys on. Just like there are years where you may look at a Miami team and say they can't beat Florida State, and they end up doing it. We know how this rivalry goes. If you're watching this channel and you're watching about 9-10 minutes into a Miami Hurricane video, you are a true fan. So I trust that you know the legacy of Miami, Florida State, Miami, Florida, and you know how these games go. I'm excited for this season. Man, I hope I'm saying the same thing this time next Saturday. I really hope I am. Let me know what you think about all the topics we talked about today. I'm out. Peace.